All that, hot topics, and more coming up live on The View.
To The View. You know, yesterday, Washington Democrats were overjoyed as President Obama signed the landmark health care reform bill into law, especially Vice President Joe Biden. Take a look.
Look at Obama. He's just like, here we go again.
He thought he was done after that campaign trail with Joe. He's like, we made it. We could keep him a little bit more quiet.
Well, but you know, that's what I would have said. I mean, I've said that to people. And, you know, the F-bomb gets dropped by folks because you never know that your mic is open.
No,
unless,
of
course.
Right there.
Yeah, but you don't.
You totally.
But we think, like, when we go in a break, we think the mic is not on. We worship our sound guys because they turn us off, but sometimes people forget to do it and you catch stuff.
And I think he was so overjoyed, and you totally expect this from Joe Biden. Is anybody surprised that this came out of Joe's mouth?
I haven't heard the F-bomb since Cheney. Didn't he tell some congressman to go do something to himself?
I'm not sure about that.
Unlike Joe Biden, he did not say this at anybody.
No.
He was describing the event.
It was an adjective, actually.
Yeah.
It was a great use of adjective.
Dean McClung. No, not Dean McClung. This is the wrong thing I'm looking at here. I'm sorry.
Macaulay Hatch? McKay Hatch.
McKay Hatch. That's it. It's on this side, babe. That he has this I can't find my notes. I'm so sorry.
Is this one the head of the Pasadena School?
Pasadena School No Cussing Club. This kid just thinks it's a terrible thing and they have to stop cussing in the world. This kid doesn't watch HBO, obviously.
No, well, he does, and he shouldn't. And it's very nice of him.
I think it's a noble cause, and I think he's speaking to those that are his peers as well as adults. And who better than to maybe say, hey, maybe curb it just a bit.
I'm not mad at the little kid, but what I say about Joe is he's never misrepresented himself. You know, he's one, I think, what he says back in the boardroom, he's going to say out there.
I believe that, too. I would love for him to come here and talk to us, give us a good...
I can't wait for him to come here.
Throw in some curse words.
Well, as long as you know, Joe, that it's $350,000 per station that's broadcasting you when you drop that F-bomb.
Yeah.
How do I know that? It's because it's in the paperwork, and people like me actually have to read that paperwork. Why? Because I would have to write a check if I dropped the F-bomb.
Yeah, but we have a 7-second delay, so...
That's what they say.
He's protected.
That's what they say. See, I think people tell you stuff like that just to see if you'll try it.
Maybe.
No. But see, I'm really good. I'm very good.
Yes,
I'm not going to do it. Now,
Live from ABC 7, this is Eyewitness News in high definition.
New at 5, a South Pasadena teenager has a message for Vice President Joe Biden. Watch your language. 17-year-old McKay Hatch spoke out today about the vice president's profane slip-up during the health care bill signing ceremony earlier this week. Eyewitness News reporter Leslie Miller explains what the teenager is asking the vice president to do.
The 17-year-old founder of the No Cussing Club and his 30,000 members worldwide say they're disappointed in the vice president's poor choice of words during the passing of the health bill this week.
I mean, a lot of kids, and not only kids, but adults look up to this guy. And I'm trying to tell kids, not to cuss, but then they just say, well, the vice president just cussed. What are you trying to tell me to do?
He's referring to Joe Biden's gaffe on national television with live microphones. The VP whispered in the president's ear, this is a big bleeping deal.
This is a huge deal. Many kids and adults all over the world look up to Vice President Biden as a role model. So with that huge responsibility, he needs to be a good role model for kids and use clean and appropriate language.
So with his supporters by his side, McKay Hatch, a junior at South Pasadena High School, packed up a box with no cussing wristbands, a T-shirt, a no cussing jar, and a letter for Vice President Biden and sent it off to Washington.
I don't think he even should be cussing. He said he's glad his mother wasn't there. I mean, for me and for everyone, it shouldn't matter who's there. You shouldn't be using those kind of words, especially the vice president.
McKay Hatch founded the No Cussing Club in 2007 after getting tired of hearing his classmates cussing. Since then, it's taken off in 50 states and 20 countries. Hatch even persuaded the California Assembly to approve a no cussing week earlier this month. He says he's looking forward to a response from the vice president, and he's hoping Joe Biden might help him make No Cussing Week a national event.
All we ask is for a public apology and for him to take the no cussing challenge and show America that hope and change starts at the top.
In South Pasadena, Leslie Miller, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
Live from NBC4, this is the Channel 4 News at 6.
Vice President Joe Biden's recent faux pas in the presidency, recall that, caught the attention of a South Pasadena teenager, and now he is urging the vice president to come join the No Cursing Club.
Outside the South Pasadena post office, a teenage crusader asks for a better example from the nation's leaders.
We need as a country to get back to the basic values and come together and treat people with civility.
17-year-old McKay Hatch, a junior at South Pasadena High, is waging a campaign against swearing, a pushback against the use of obscenities in the daily American dialogue. So prevalent, even Vice President Biden used one in telling the president, who already knew, that health care reform was a big F-wording deal.
Would he have used this kind of language in front of his mother? Well, according to Vice President Biden, he wouldn't have. So why in front of the American people? All we ask is for a public apology and for him to take the no cussing challenge and show America that hope and change starts at the top.
Biden's comment was congratulatory in nature, but still bad form, according to Hatch, who believes words matter and that expletives lead to a decline in civility, some of which we've witnessed lately in policy arguments on Capitol Hill and beyond. The high school junior today sent the vice president a swear jar. Each bad word requires a donation to charity.
I want him to at least, do something besides, to say, whatever, because I want him to at least, show that he thinks he should have spoken better.
Conan Nolan, Channel 4 News, South Pasadena.
Good for him. I'm guessing the vice president is thinking twice about
Oh, yeah.
being near a microphone
Too much
again,
attention
don't you
on
think?
that one. Too much attention.
All right.